Headline: Stop blaming celebrity endorsements for Kamala Harris's loss. We need to hear from artists more than ever. Guys, this is the attitude that they have. I've been trying to tell you. I tried to tell y'all. I put out a video because I recorded it days before because I knew he was going to win, right? And I made it go live because I had already recorded it while the election was still taking place, okay, on election night, of me saying you need to be prepared that they are going to double down, triple down, quadruple, quintuple, whatever the fuck. They're going to do all the downs. And if you didn't think that they were already insufferable, they're going to be even more insufferable than they have been in years past, and they're being egged on. This is what happened in 2016. And this is why I feel like it is worse, because they thought they got rid of the man, and then he came back and won. But when in 2016 happened, you saw the reactions from all of these fools. You saw how angry they are, how mad they were that Donald Trump won, and they were going to then use the entertainment or the profession, no matter where it was, so again, this include academia, to be spiteful. And they were going to use it to go at their ideological opposition. And that's exactly what they did. Everything became like this analogy to Trump, or it was a direct representation of Trump. Is what you got with like MODOK being Trump in Marvel Comics. Because they felt, it wasn't just Trump himself, it was what they felt that he represented. So it was some of the ideas. This is when this quote unquote woke stuff started to accelerate and why it did. But let's read some of what, let's hear the man make his damn case. Did you know Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce lost the election for Kamala Harris, or at least bear a large part of the responsibility for a party's failure at the polls this year? It's true, you know. Tongue in cheek, guy. At least if you listen to some of the punditry coming from conservatives and even some of the Democrat operatives eager to find some celebs to push into the middle of their current circular firing squad. Listening to some of these voices, you'd think that Harris could have won 6 or 7 swing states if only Beyonce hadn't shown up to deliver one single 4-minute rally speech, or if Taylor Swift hadn't devoted a singular 300-word Instagram post to an Harris endorsement. Imagine the more favorable electoral counts if only some of the most beloved pop culture figures in the world had kept their dirty traps shut, right? This isn't much of an exaggeration of some of the post-election sniping out there. A-list celebrity endorsements boomerang on Harris Democrats. Read the headline of a reported news story in The Hill. Overseas, The Guardian ran a Wednesday morning quarterback piece titled, "Did Celebrity Endorsement Actually Harm Kamala Harris?" Some right-leaning publications actually declared that the whole idea of artists and entertainers speaking up had suddenly just been killed in its track, apparently never to be seen again in 2028 or any time after. Kamala Harris and the death of the celebrity endorsement, read the headline in the Spectator in the UK. And there's this post title. Basically, this person is going, or Chris is going through all of the posts that basically allude to that. Musicians and actors and their ilk, they had a marvelous time ruining everything in the selection cycle, to quote one of the most famous of their endorsers. More than the tune of blame Canada, blame Hollywood, yada, yada, yada. There's a good reason to believe that the argument people in the arts and entertainment speaking up does not move the needle a tremendous amount. But concurrent with that argument is the reasonable belief that they can move at least a tiny amount in registrations and motivation, if not 180-degree turns. The idea that entertainers and artists involved somehow leads to actual voter dissuasion is a fantasy bullshit. It's come from Variety, by the way, that is happily perpetuated by the go woke, go broke crowd. The biggest fallacy is that Kamala Harris, Tim Walz's campaign, was somehow lazily relying on stars to get their message across. I don't think lazy is the thing that anybody is saying. I think it's more they understand that that's a tool for them, because they're the propaganda. They're part of the propaganda wing, right? Along with academia and public education, the propaganda wing of the state, right? Of the Democrat, of the American left, state leftists, authoritarian left. Let's call them that. The Hill quoted on an anonymous Democratic strategist as saying, "Somehow we think if Beyonce is on stage that it will solve all of our problems." Note to nameless strategist: literally no one thought that. And maybe the proof of that is that Beyonce made a single one and done appearance on that ticket in their hometown of Houston. If anything, up until the final week of the furious stumping, the campaign and entertainers themselves played it lower key this year, having some real mindfulness about possible perceptions of being a Hollywood driven movement. Yeah, it was kind of strange that even though we already knew and assumed that all these people were Kamala Harris supporters, the strategy seemed to be that, hey, we're going to put all the endorsements there that last week. And so that's when you had all these people explicitly stating, all the entertainers just coming out saying they were endorsing Kamala Harris for president. The Democratic convention had about the same number of musical interludes as the Republican, and not because they couldn't book more. Even then, the couple of songs per night were handed to musicians who represented something symbolic. Jason Isbell, Mickey Guyton, or Stevie Wonder, and more than bring in the pop superstars of the moment. Everyone remember how Beyonce did not show up to overshadow Harris in her big moment. Yes, she didn't perform. In the last couple of weeks, the big guns did come out more in person. But does anyone in the shattering class really believe that a last minute get out and vote rally is ill served by the promise that the attendees might get to hear living on a prayer, blah, 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 and all this other shit? Of course, pop singers in particular face damned if you do, damned if you don't reactions for either too little or too much. Swift has hectored by elements of one side for not giving a Harris endorsement, then pilloried for elements of the other when she did give one. With the seesaw swinging back toward why is she not saving democracy by going to Pennsylvania, an article in the cut on election eve after it was clear the superstar was headed to cheer on the Chiefs bore the damn headline, Taylor Swift chose football over Kamala Harris. Well, it's not a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I think more accurately is this is the bed that y'all have made. You chose to sleep with these crack smokers in the academia and entertainers with the Democrat Party, right? And they come to collect, right? So they're anticipating that when it is their time to need you to go campaign for them and on their behalf, this is what you wanted. So it ain't about whether you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Y'all the ones that are leftists. I didn't tell you. We didn't tell you to go support these clowns. You did it. Now, whether they did it, the entertainers do it because, well, that's just the mindset that they've had growing up, which often may be the case. I don't know. Or if it's hive mind, or if it's job protection. It's, well, I don't want to because I'll end up like Zachary Levi. I end up like Gina Carano if I say something that goes against the grain. Maybe that's part of it as well. Either way, that's the bed that y'all made. So, of course, when it is time to collect every 2 and 4 years, they're going to be running to y'all because y'all jumped in that nasty, stanky, rotten ass bed. I didn't tell you to do it. I didn't tell you to do it. None of us told you to do it. This is just the culture that y'all built over the last several decades. You are, for sure, if you take a public, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself as well, if you commentate in any given form or fashion on politics, especially social issues, you are going to alienate some bit of your base. The problem isn't less, or like I would say in like Hollywood, the problem is that they lost their mystique because they wanted to become more vocal and more front-facing in their political beliefs. Because I don't think most people assume that this shit started in 2016. I hope not. No. Democrats, or more accurately putting, the entertainers have been Democrats forever. They have been leftists forever. That had always been the case. It didn't just start. The difference is that they sought to start beating the audience over the head, number one. The mystique got lost because of social media. And I don't know why people don't talk about this enough, right? It wasn't that they became leftists in 2016. No, they always been that way. But what happened is, uniquely, with the rise of social media, the direct line of sight between the audience, so the customers, fans of these people, that barrier right there got completely removed. Why? Because you willingly do podcasts. You willingly do Instagram posts, right? You willingly even use your art, which used to be the no-no, as a vehicle for your own social beliefs. So now whereas we might have assumed you were a leftist, but we didn't really know because it was buried in some fucking Entertainment Weekly book that nobody was reading. Now we know about it immediately. You tell us, you go out of your way, you campaign, you do these things, and that is what fucking derailed modern entertainment and why it became so alienating. That's why that happened. It was less about them being leftist. We knew that. It was more of how front-facing those positions were. Thanks for watching. Be sure to head over to rippaverse.com to check out our comic book company. We have books, plenty of merchandise, and even some glorious animations from Rippaverse Studios.